Get ready to find out all about a painting that's so haunting, it'll make your skin crawl. This remarkably beguiling painting can take you by surprise in one of Madrid's less well-known and inconspicuous galleries of the Museo Nacional del Prado. It's none other than Francisco Goya's eerie black paintings from his later years, titled Witch's Sabbath, or The Great He-Goat. Goya, who was by this time practically deaf and experiencing severe sadness, withdrew into his studio's solitude and adorned its walls with these Gothic works of art. So even though it's centuries old, this specific creation is a truly unsettling painting with the capacity to startle. Goya created hundreds of paintings and prints throughout the course of his lengthy career, and his work is said to be inventive and engaging, even though it's also unsettling and frightening. His work is typically regarded by contemporary art historians as being ahead of its time, as in, it would fit in well with an exhibition of paintings by modernists or surrealists. Goya, who was suffering from physical and mental diseases, painted a number of horrifying scenes on the walls. One of his black paintings, a collection of 14 paintings that he produced while residing at a home known as Quinta del Sordo, or the Villa of the Deaf, is The Great He-Goat. Although later art historians have had difficulty interpreting the black paintings, they largely agree that the works reveal human faults and Goya's profound dissatisfaction with the world and everything it stands for. Most art historians, in particular, view the Great He-Goat as an indictment of superstition and the Spanish Inquisition's witch hunts. In it, a large anthropomorphized goat is shown sitting in front of a gathering of men and female witches who are all wearing wild, animalistic looks. A young woman is seated alone to the right, possibly waiting to be admitted into the coven, and, depicted as a goat, Satan is the head of this horrifying coven. In this piece, the witches were made using loose, flowing brushstrokes in tones of black and brown. Plus, the lack of anything in the background makes the painting seem even more ominous and disturbing. You may be so taken by the horrific scene that you don't realize that this eerie picture is not intended to be taken literally as a representation of the paranormal. This masterwork is actually considered to be a sarcastic critique of what Goya perceived to be the ugly and dark side of the human condition, as well as the depravity of the society that surrounded him in the post-Napoleonic conflict. The painting, which is very small in size at 43 centimeters by 30 centimeters, is again one of 5 works by Goya from the turn of the 20th century that feature witches engaged in witchcraft. It's unknown if the Duchess of Osuna ordered the paintings or if her husband later bought them. The pieces, which were created to adorn the Duchess's boudoir in the El Capricho Palace, exhibit his technical mastery to the fullest. Also, there are images of children who have been sacrificed to the devil, some of whom are seen dead and hanging on a stake in the background, while others are shown lying next to the women's feet. Basically, the belief of the time that the devil feeds on children led to the portrayal of dead children and offerings of children to the devil in this piece. Turns out, Goya was strongly opposed to using the anxieties of the people for political benefit and held the accomplishments of the Enlightenment period in high regard. He utilized his creative talent to expose and mock these trends in Spanish culture. Oh, and he was a fierce opponent of the church and the pervasive belief in superstitions. For someone to create something so horrific, it really makes you think, are they scared of nothing? Well, Goya acknowledged in a letter to his friend Martín Zapater in 1789 that he only fears humans and what they're capable of. You see, the Black Painting series, which includes Witch's Sabbath, is influenced by Goya's personal battles with various diseases, on top of his social criticism of society. At the time, His physical and mental health were greatly impacted by the events at the turn of the century, particularly Napoleon's victories and the subsequent restoration of the Bourbon monarchy. The great artist passed away on April 16, 1828, at the age of 82. Goya had suffered a stroke that had left him paralyzed on his right side. Later, his body was reburied in Madrid's Real Ermita de San Antonio de la Florida. And get this, the skull was infamously missing. With this, we're signing off for today, hoping this video brought something new for you. Before you leave, let us know in the comments what you thought of Goya's work, and hit the bell icon to get notified for upcoming videos. See you all next time.